baby.
What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. I'm very late here. I'm in a hotel room down in Cincy going to the Vikings Bengals game. Have a Bengals fan on with me, Cody Smash. What's up?
Who day, Steph? First off, hope you enjoyed the Cincinnati tailgates. We were the drunkest fans in the NFL last season by total numbers of beers purchased. There's good reason for that. It's a good time. Should have good weather this weekend. So enjoy a little taste of that. I hope you get you some Skyline chili.
Yeah, they're my type of people. I think I'll have a good time. Very excited. I want to make it to every stadium. So I haven't even been to Cincy. I'm excited to explore afterwards. Did you see my tweet about wearing team apparel to a game that the team is not playing in? People were very angry and passionate. I didn't think it was going to be as I got quite the responses, and I think the overwhelming thought process is it absolutely not. Where are you at with it?
Yeah, I'm in that boat. It's just like it's such a weird mentality. It's like why? Because it happens quite a bit at Bengals games for some reason. Like I went to the game last weekend against Colts. There were a ton of Browns fans wearing Browns uniforms. It's like why? Like you're not here supporting like your team. I don't know what the point is. I get like I'm not opposed to it. Like I'm not going to shame you for wearing it. I just would never do that, you know?
Yeah. I think it's really weird to do. Like, if you're in division wearing it. I've been to a couple Vikings games where I've slipped back into my Giants jacket on the way out, which is kind of sneaky a little bit and inappropriate. But at the same time, like, isn't it weirder to also wear apparel from another team if you're not a fan?
I think apparel is a lot more acceptable. Like the Giants jacket that you have, especially a lot of like your throwback merch, like that stuff, like that looks good. It's a little bit more fashionable than like a jersey.
A jersey
A jersey's kind of weird because you're supporting a dude who doesn't play for any of the teams.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like I went to a Steelers game more in Antonio Brown jersey, which I think is just funny at that point. All right, let's talk about this week. Some smash or pass. Always fun to do with you, Cody Smash. Very on brand.
Smash or pass.
First one here. Smash or pass. Patriots plus 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on this so hard.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappi. I'm not going to bet on Bailey Zappi.
No. I think everyone's a little bit too excited off of what they've seen and how this defense has been playing. But at the end of the day, 8.5. What are we doing here?
Like, I understand that the Patriots like have not played well, and the Chiefs have definitely not played well to Chiefs standards. This is still Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about, right? Like, I understand his receivers haven't played great. Like, it is what it is. I'm not willing to bet against to be honest, fairly healthy Chiefs team.
Yeah.
No way. Why? Not a chance.
Yeah, no. Are you firing up any CEH this week? Because I kind of am under the impression, given the way that this Patriots defense has been and how great they've been at stopping the run, I almost would just rather not just find another backup on another team, like even like a Ty Chandler. I think I'd rather roll out there.
Yeah, I would rather look to a guy like Antonio Gibson getting the run with Brian Robinson being out over CEH. I just don't see, like, even when he was getting a majority of the workload his rookie year, he was so ineffective. Like, say what you will about a Bill Belichick-led defense, but, like, they are pretty decent at stopping the run. There's no reason for me from a fantasy perspective to put, like, we're in the crunch. You're either in the playoffs or, like, you're competing for a playoff spot at this point in the year. I'm not willing to have my season rest on the shoulders of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm just not.
No, I'm good. I'm out. It's a no for me, dog. I'll probably look to take his under. I imagine that line's going to move a little bit open pretty low, but I can imagine people are going to be smashing the over there, which I think is a mistake. All right, next one here, smash or pass. This is an interesting game, one that's going to get some shitfuck weather going on. Pass or smash. Did I just switch that up that time? That's interesting. Cowboys plus 2.
Yeah, I like the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys a lot. Why does it feel like a trap? I think this is a game that's going to go either way. And I understand, like, there's no such thing as, like, look-ahead games in the NFL or whatever. But, like, I truly believe that this Cowboys team has a shot to be the NFC's representative in the Super Bowl. I truly, truly believe that. And I think that, like, if you're going to give me one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the teams that has the most explosive plays, both offensively and defensively, because you love seeing explosive plays out of these teams. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys have done that so well all season. If you're going to give me that at plus money, like I'll take that all day.
I hate it because it's really hard for me to say out loud, but this is one of the most well-rounded, dominant Cowboys team that I've seen, and I am fearful that we're actually going to see them have some success in the playoffs.
Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, this Bills team is not like bad by any means, but like they're not the Bills team that we thought going into the season would be competing for the top of the AFC. Like they're fighting for an AFC like a wild card spot right now, and they haven't played exceptional football at any point this year. Like at no point have the Bills played the best football in the country. I know, like, people are talking about Josh Allen MVP. I don't see that. Like I think the MVP is on the other side. I think it's Dak. I think he's played the best football of any quarterback in the NFL so far this year. So I'm going to take the Cowboys plus money and roll with it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think it's Dak's award to lose. I kind of keep saying that now. If he continues to play like this, I don't foresee how anyone else wins it besides for him. Moving on to the game that I'm here for, smash or pass, your Bengals -3 against the Vikings.
I keep going back and forth on this game, and then I remember that Josh Dobbs is no longer the pastronaut, and it's Nick Mullins, and I know exactly what Nick Mullins is. The only thing that really concerns me is all this talk about that Vikings new defense. Like somehow they invented a defense that nobody's ever seen before. Brian Flores, I'll give the man all the credit in the world. He's a great defensive coordinator, but I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. The Bengals have been outstanding at home under Zach Taylor. So give me the Bengals -3.5. I don't love it. I'm not in love with it. If this is a game where it ends up getting to like right around 4, maybe I throw it in a small teaser. But I'm not willing to bet on Nick Mullins. I don't care how many points you give me.
Yeah, it goes against kind of, I usually like to take backup quarterbacks in their first start of a season. So I'm a little tempted that the Vikings keep it close just because of that defense, but something about putting my faith in Mullins kind of makes me sick. It kind of makes me sick a little bit there. All right, next game. This game's interesting. I'm very excited to hear your opinion on this. So smash or pass, Detroit -4. Playing the Denver Broncos. Finally, Goff is going to be back in a dome. He's going to be in a dome the rest of the season. Is this a bounce-back game for the Detroit Lions, or can the Broncos get it done?
I do think this is a bounce-back game for the Detroit Lions. 3 of their last 4 games have been played against division opponents. And say what you will that like their division isn't outstanding this year. It's still a teams that you know well. Like these are physical, chippy games, and you now get to go back home. You get to play a little bit better, in the dome that Jared Goff loves to play in. The other thing with these Broncos teams is looking back at who the Broncos have played over the last 4 weeks. They've played C.J. Stroud, who they lost to. And they played Easton Stick Chargers. They've played the DTR/PJ Walker Browns. They played the Vikings, who they beat with Josh Dobbs. Like they have not played any team nearly as good as what this Lions offense is going to be. And I think Detroit is in a really good spot for a bounce back here.
Yeah, it's got to be the last week I bet on them because I feel like I keep saying this and they kind of keep letting me down. But I feel pretty confident here that this is the week that they can kind of put it back together. And it's been a weird 2 weeks for Amon-Ra, like a lot of targets, but he's not, not really bringing in much with those targets. So I kind of like him as a look this week to kind of get right because I like these guys to get a bunch of targets. We know the type of player they are. So this feels like a good bounce back week for him as well. And I think that also leads to their success this game.
Yeah. The one play that I do kind of like, a little sprinkle here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Jared Goff is plus 100 to throw in it. Yeah, the plus sign at the beginning of that. I understand he's been better about not turning the ball over this year, but he threw 2 interceptions last week. I think he has 5 interceptions in his last 4 games. So it's just a little sprinkle, but plus money. I mean, it's plus money. Steph.
I know. I like quite a few interceptions this week. Like, I'm telling you right now. And one of them, listen, Giants fans, DeVito's throwing one this week, whether you guys like it or not. That's going to happen. His trend here of not throwing them will come to an end this weekend. Speaking of that game, smash or pass, actually going to go to the total here. Giants Saints under 39.
See, I thought you were going to ask me about this game because I'm smashing the Giants. I'm smashing the Giants. But at the total at 39, it's pretty low. It's pretty Big Ten West. I think I'm much more concerned about the Saints offense than I am with the Giants offense. Derek Carr's not 100%. So I'll smash the under on this. That offense hasn't looked good, and the Giants defense is pretty solid. I don't expect what Tommy DeVito has done well is like he's controlled the football. He hasn't made big mistakes, and he's made plays when he's needed to. But like it's not like he's throwing for 350 and 3 every week. So I'll take the under. Give me under 39.
It cracks me up that he won Player of the Week, and he threw for 158 yards. Like I cannot take it seriously. I'm sorry.
Zach Wilson and Tommy DeVito won
in
the
what
Offensive
world?
Player of the Week. If you would have told me that sentence in September, I would have laughed you off the show. Zero chance that I would have taken that seriously.
Yeah, I can't. It's unbelievable. Zach Wilson loves, he comes in, he'll have a good game, and then he turns back into a little pumpkin. So he'll probably do that again this week. Giants defense has been good though. Over this win streak, they're allowing like 22 points or less to their opponents. So I think there's something to be said about this Giants defense and what they're doing. Another team in this game, also very interesting here. A team that's defense is playing very well. Smash or pass, Bears +3 against the Browns.
Yeah, I'm smashing this. The Browns are very, very hurt. Grant Delpit's their leading tackler. He's out. I don't think Denzel Ward is coming back in this game. He's doing that thing where it's like, he could be back this week, and then he's not. The Aaron Jones special, if you will. That being said, the Bears have played like really good football as of late. And I understand that the Browns defense has looked outstanding all year, but they're great in man coverage. And DJ Moore, I mean, that man feasts on man coverage. They don't have a corner that's going to be able to match up with him. I love his over props this week. I like Bears +3. I like Justin Fields rushing yards. I'm all Bears in this one. And call me crazy, but money line? Like, are the Bears live?
Listen, I've been saying it for a couple of weeks, and very sneakily, even the stats line up with it. Since they've got Montez Sweat, they've been 6th in defensive DVOA. That defense looks tough. And this is the first time, too, with the Bears that, could the Bears have a good draft and a good free agency and us be talking about the Bears being seriously somewhat scary next year?
Yeah, and the thing, too, is, the Bears, they have the Panthers' first pick. So, it's not like, oh, well, we want our team to lose, so we get a better draft pick. Fuck that. You have the number 1 pick. Worry about that. At this point, I still don't think that Justin Fields is the long-term guy in Chicago. I just think mutually beneficial. It would be better if he ended up in Atlanta. But, no, this Bears team, outside of September, just because September was maybe some of the worst professional football I've ever watched.
It's so bad.
They've been not bad. They've been truly an average to, I'm not going to say above average, but they've been an average football team.
Can I tell you what I did the other day?
Yes.
I placed a future already. And it's on the Bears to make the playoffs next year at 14-1. But that's a crazy number. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's actually a little ridiculous. I understand that they'll likely have a new coach, but I don't.
That defense, NFC, also, like, I don't think they're out of the division conversation next year either. Like, they're tough. They're playing tough. And at 1,400, I think that closes before the season much lower than that.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely agree. I like that a lot. Where did you place that?
DraftKings, they have them up, but you're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Lines up already?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but you shouldn't know that. Like, I need to call the number. The fact that
you're the reason that helpline exists.
Yeah,
like,
I would have to. I'm going to get off this show and call the number because that's pretty bad. I wasn't going to tell anyone, but whatever. I had to let someone know. You mentioned DJ Moore. I really like, and I've been in on these longest reception props lately. They're so much fun because it only takes one and then you're over and it's a really fun sweat. But DJ Moore's longest reception, 23.5, minus 114. He's gone over this 3 straight and by quite a bit. Like, there's something there. I like the Chicago team. I never thought I'd be saying that at the beginning of the season, but I like what I'm seeing. And I think too, the Flacco pixie dust, I think, is going to start coming back down to earth a little bit. Like we're seeing with all these backups. They get, a couple good games and then we finally are like, oh, that's why you're a fucking backup.
Yeah. At some point it's like, oh shit, I'm 40. You know what I mean? Like, they can't just do this forever. And that Montez Sweat, I mean, he's been able to get after guys. The Bears have more sacks over the last 3 or 4 games than they've had pretty much all last season. So yeah.
God. Any other game, like any spreads or totals or anything that you're looking at as far as that goes? What about that Bucks-Packers game? Do you have any strong feelings on that one? Because I know the Packers just came off, that pretty embarrassing loss to the Giants. They let DeVito get player of the week against them. They weren't able to sack him, which is unbelievable because DeVito was taking a sack 1 and 4 dropbacks until that game. So, they were banged up. So do you think, again, is this kind of a bounce back? Bucks go there. I could see, I really like the Packers wide receivers against this Bucks secondary. Where are you at with that game?
Yeah, this will be a really interesting matchup. This means so much for the NFC playoff race. The Buccaneers still have a shot to win their division. The Packers are hanging on to the wild card spot for dear life. They're minus 3.5. I don't know if I'm going to play it at that number. There's just nothing. I do kind of like the over in this game. I think there could be some points put up in Lambeau on Sunday. So I'm riding with that, but I don't like the side on either one of those teams. The one bet that I am taking, Mike Tomlin as an underdog. Mike Tomlin as an underdog. They've been favored the last 2 weeks, and they lost the last 2 weeks. I understand that they lost to 2 just ass teams, legitimately bottom of the barrel teams. The Steelers won't do that 3 weeks in a row. Mitch Trubisky, whatever. This game's in Indianapolis. I've seen enough of the Gardner Minshew thing to be like, oh yeah, he's fun and he'll win you some games. But at the end of the day, this Steelers team I think is just better at pretty much every position group outside of quarterback than Indianapolis right now. Receiver, but
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that because I just feel so gross taking Trubisky. I think the running backs could find success this week. I wonder, what's Warren sitting at? Rushing yards, 45.5. Najee, they use him quite a bit in the receiving game too, 50.5. Like both of those I could see going over. You kind of convinced me. I might just stay away from that spread in general, though. It's a little gross.
It is gross. There's nothing about that game that's pretty. I don't want to see either of those teams in the playoffs. I can tell you that much.
No, and I tweeted it last night. There's going to be a really, really bad team that gets into the playoffs and kicks out a really good team that didn't deserve the fluky win. So I feel bad. Whoever that team is, that sucks. We're probably going to know right when we see the schedule. I'm going to be hammering the other side of it. Any props that you like this week?
Yeah, the biggest one was the Jared Goff interception prop.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see some of these Texan props. I don't know how I feel about CJ Stroud, whether he's going to play or not.
No.
And those Texan wide receiver props are all over the place considering Nico Collins is questionable. According DraftKings has Davis Mills as that's whose passing props are up. It's not CJ Stroud.
Oh yeah, they are.
If you're going to give me some of these receiving props, Dalton Schultz is at 32.5 yards. He has not been himself lately. He's banged up. I don't feel great about anybody on the Texans. So I don't, and then give me some DeAndre Hopkins too. Like,
I
haven't
love
been able to stop good wide receivers.
Yeah, his longest
against
reception.
his former team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. I like the revenge aspect there for sure. Davis Mills is to throw an interception is -150, and I might have to just parlay that with another one because I think that if he plays, I can almost guarantee you there is an interception getting thrown there.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too, Derrick Henry has had 2+ touchdowns for 3 consecutive games. And he owns the Texans. So
which isn't saying a lot given like how they have been historically. But last one I'll ask you about too is, and I got in, I'm going to have a little brag here. I got this number at 49.5 before it moved. Hawkinson versus the Bengals. Is it getting a little exhausting to hear this tight end thing? I'm not loving how everyone's on this. I know it's moved to like 53.5, 54 some places. I actually wasn't comfortable taking it probably higher than that number. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm all over. I mean, tight ends against the Bengals have eaten consistently. The last time I was on this show, we talked about Evan Ingram against the Bengals.
Yeah.
He had a touchdown. He had over 4.5 receptions. He went over his yards prop. Easy money. Last week, Mo Alley Cox scored that touchdown in the back of the end zone against the Bengals. Like, the Bengals just aren't good at defending the tight end and defending the middle of the field. I don't know if it's by design, if they just say, hey, look, we're not going to worry about, the tight ends over the middle of the field. I'm going to take Hawkinson all over the place. I'll sprinkle on his first touchdown like that. I have full confidence that TJ Hawkinson is going to continue to be the stud that he's been all year, especially against this Bengals defense. And is Justin Jefferson 100%? Like, I don't.
Here's the thing, though. Don't you feel like, I hate the aspect of like Chase and him playing against each other and him probably being on whatever painkiller they could find. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, I'm staying away from JJ. I actually took Addison longest reception. I think that JJ being back should also open up things for Addison a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. And either way, if they run any sort of like crossing patterns, middle of the field stuff, the Bengals have been giving that up all year. So I don't think this is going to be some kind of low scoring shootout in that, or low scoring knockdown drag out in that game. But I'll take Hawk all day. And you know what? Maybe a little 2+. Like, why not?
I know, maybe we might have to do it. I think I'm in on that. Maybe 2+ Hawk, 2+ Henry, and see what we could get with that number. Kind of love that. Before I let you get out of here, do you have a best college bet, since you are the college guy? And I didn't ask you any college questions.
I do. Bowl season starts tomorrow.
Yes.
Very, very excited for that. However, the bowl games that we have tomorrow and the beginning of next week, just some of the worst bowl games, which is how bowl season goes. I have 3 bets that I'm taking. The one that I am absolutely the most confident in, this is my biggest bet of the weekend, UCLA Boise State under 48.5. Okay. Boise State is a run-heavy team. They are 16th in runs per game. UCLA is right at the halfway mark. However, their quarterback Dante Moore has entered the transfer portal. I expect them to run pretty heavily. UCLA has 3 offensive players with 300+ snaps this season in the portal that are opting out, and UCLA is 10-2 to the under so far this season. So give me under 48.5 in that matchup. The other 2 bets that I like, UCF and Georgia Tech over 64.5. Okay. These teams are bottom 30% in defensive efficiency across the FBS. No major holdouts offensively. There might be like 3 decent snaps of defense played in this game. They're going to light up the scoreboard. That is probably the most fun bowl game to watch. And then the last one, a little plus money because I love a good underdog. Cal plus 145 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, 2 of their top 3 wide receivers are sitting out. Their backup quarterback's playing. Justin Wilcox, Cal's head coach, is 2-1 against the spread in non-conference this year. And they ended the season on 3 straight wins. They're hot. So I'll take Cal plus money.
I like it. I'm going to parlay those. Let everyone know where they can find your stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to sneak you back on one of these Fridays. I'm going to try to before I have to give you back to your normal work schedule because it's so much fun having you on. But let the people know where they can find you and then get you out of here to enjoy your Friday.
Yep. Happy Friday at Smash Hit Sports. Everywhere you can find me, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We just put up a full bowl pick'em or full bowl preview on the YouTube channel. It's an hour and a half long, but we went through every single bowl game and made a pick for each one. So if you are doing a bowl pick'em for your work or amongst your friends, or if you're joining my bowl pick'em, which is completely free to join, go check that out and get all your bowl plays. So.
I love it. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Good luck to your Bengals.
Yep. Enjoy the game. See ya.
And then it's Money's Munaf Fridays. What's going on, Munaf?
Yo, what's going on? Friday already. How are you?
I'm good. I had a fountain Dr. Pepper on the way down to Cincy, so we feel good. I know you were saying Texas loves their Dr. Pepper, so I thought of you while I had it.
What's going on in Cincinnati?
I'm going to the Vikings Bengals game.
Oh, is that why you were asking?
Yeah.
I
know. What are your feelings about the whole can't wear other teams? People were. I'm not even gonna say people because I rarely do this, but men felt very strongly on this topic, and I did not think it was gonna be like I had to mute the conversation.
I'm in the camp of if it's like an iconic athlete, like
Okay.
a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant,
Okay.
a Tom Brady, I think it's fine. But other than that, I mean, if you're wearing Giants gear to the Vikings game, I might have to.
I know, but then it's weird because now I'm gonna wear Viking stuff, and it's like that's not really my team. So I don't know. I'm not really a jersey girl, anyways. Like you're not gonna really catch me wearing a jersey to a game anyway. So I was telling Cody, I keep my Giants jacket just in case I'll slip in on the way out in case the other team loses, and then I don't have to worry about any bullshit on the way out. But any feelings on that game?
Vikings and Bengals. I like the Bengals. They're playing well. Jake Browning has looked pretty good filling in for Joe Burrow. We saw what he's done over the last 2 weeks. Vikings, I know they're starting Nick Mullins at the quarterback position. Josh Jobs just didn't work out for them, even though all the glamour was there for him for a couple of weeks there. But Bengals, this is a big game for them if they want to make the playoffs. They're right there in the thick of things for a playoff position, wild card positioning. So I like them at home. I like them to carry the momentum that they had from not only upsetting the Jaguars and killing people's survivor pools, but also what they did last week against the Colts. So yeah, give me the Bengals on the spread here. I think it's you can get either -3 juice or a -3.5 at even money. I think that it's probably at least a 6-point victory for them.
God, all the people I trust are liking the Bengals. Maybe I'm the Delulu one that kind of likes the Vikings tomorrow. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my opinion by game time there. I might just stay away from it. I gave out the Vikings +4 earlier in the week. As that's moved, I don't feel as cozy about it. What's your first prop you got for me?
Well, I just saw you guys talking about Hawkinson and the whole tight ends against the Cincinnati Bengals, so I won't regurgitate that one.
Yeah.
I really love Saquon Barkley this week to have a big week against the Saints.
Okay.
You take a look at what the Saints have given up on the ground, not only on the ground, but also through the air. I think since week 10 is what the number I like to look at, like over the last 3 to 4 weeks. So the Saints are allowing the second most rushing yards to opposing running backs. That's only behind the Arizona Cardinals at around 140 per game. They're also allowing, or teams are, I should say, running close to 30 times per game. So Saquon last week had a really good week as well. I was on his rushing and receiving yards to go over. That one got there fairly easily. He had 20 attempts. I wouldn't be surprised if he has another 15 to 18 attempts in this game. If he does, I think he definitely flies over this number. So if you want to go rushing and receiving as well, I don't hate that. But I do like his rushing yards to go over. I think the number is currently at 67.5.
I like it. I try to stay away from betting on the Giants. Everyone knows that. I did quad Ds for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
I think you're going to hate my dud for tomorrow's slate, but I actually think I like Joe Mixon under the 56.5 rushing yards. This Vikings defense has just been so freaking good at stopping the run. Going a little bit like under the radar here. I took Josh Jacobs last week. That number was obviously much bigger. But even the 56.5, I know Mixon's been going over this, but you look at the defenses they've played, it's not super impressive. And he's only gone under this 5 times this season. But that number of 56.5, I wouldn't be surprised, if you see a little bit more receiving work out of him and we see that rushing number a little bit lower.
Yeah, they're allowing the 3rd least rushing yards to the running back position over the last 3 weeks. Only better teams have been the Niners and the Patriots, and we know how good the Niners defense is. Patriots defense has been, I think, not talked about enough just because how bad their offense has been, but they've been really good as well. And Vikings, like you mentioned, are right there as well. So I like it.
Yeah. What's another prop that you like here?
Let's go to the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals game. Another team in the Cardinals that is giving up a lot of yards to the running back position, but also through the air. I like CMC in this game to go over 27.5 receiving yards. And you just take a look at what he's done in his career against the Cardinals. I'll just quickly read off the numbers here just to kind of give you some context here. So, since he got traded to from the Panthers to the 49ers, 67 receiving yards, 34 receiving yards, 71 receiving yards. So this number's at 27.5 right now. We know the Cardinals defense is just not very good. I would expect a heavy load of CMC here. I'm in the camp of they're not going to cover this number because I think it's a look ahead spot for the Niners next week because they have a Monday Night Football game against the Ravens. Possibly a Super Bowl preview. Those are 2 teams I do like to get to the Super Bowl. But yeah, let's go CMC over 27.5 receiving yards.
I like it quite a bit. I like running backs this weekend. I'm not going to lie to you. Tomorrow, my dad pick is Gibbs' longest rush over 14.5 minus 110. He's only not gone over this like 3 times this season, 4 games straight, or at least 3 games straight. And he goes over by quite a bit. This seems like a smash every week. So I'm not going to stray away from it. I'm just going to take it again tomorrow for him to go over that 14.5 mark.
Yeah, Denver Broncos, the worst rushing defense this season right there. I know we talked about the Cardinals and the Broncos are giving up the most yards on the ground, 125 per game on the ground. So, I'm with you on that here. I'll go over to the game between the Commanders and the Rams. Commanders have been, I think we've talked about this on your show as well, is that they give up long receptions and long completions. I'm going to look at our guy, Puka Nacua, to go longest reception over 24.5 yards. He's done this 6 times this season alone, but he's done it in back-to-back weeks as well. I think that this offense right now for the Rams has found their form. Cooper Kupp had a great week last week. Puka Nacua had a great week last week. Last 2 weeks, he's had long receptions of 70 against the Browns, and then he had a 34 long reception against the Ravens. Go back a little further against the Seahawks, he had one for 32 as well. So them being at home, going up against a very, very bad Washington defense, I like his longest reception over 24.5 yards.
Yeah, I like that. I also I wouldn't blame anyone for taking Kupp either. I think there's probably something to be said about that as well. Tomorrow, just wrapping out, adding in my dumb fuck bet, which I think is actually still a pretty smart bet. Tomorrow is Ivan Pace Jr.'s birthday. He is from Cincy. So I am taking him to go over 8.5 tackles and assists at plus 110. He's gone over this 3 straight weeks since Hicks was out. I know it's 8.5 it's a little bit of a tall order here, but I think that you'll see this kid continue to get involved. Definitely one of the best undrafted free agents we've seen in a while. He's making quite the statement this year.
We shout out to my guy Terrell on the NBA pod. He identifies NBA players that have their birthday and we just automatically play their double and their points to go over as well. So we love that. We love a good birthday angle. Why not?
I love it. What else are you looking at?
So I was looking at DeAndre Hopkins to go over on his receiving yards as well.
Yes.
I know they're going up against my Texans. A revenge angle as well for DeAndre Hopkins here. Surprisingly, he hasn't came to Houston yet, but this game is in Tennessee. But last week he looked really good. He has had back-to-back weeks of 12 targets, 75 yards against the Colts. Then last week we saw what he did, 7 receptions, 124 yards. and a touchdown in that game. If you want to look at his long reception as well, I don't hate
Yeah.
that, but I think that he's going to get the targets again going up against his former team. 57.5, I thought was a little bit conservative here for DeAndre Hopkins. So expect him to show out against his former team.
I like it quite a bit. Few props that didn't make it that were in consideration for my Sunday quad Ds. Really like Jaden Reed to go over the 14.5 rushing yards. They involve him quite a bit. It's been a little bit of a sneaky play here. I could see that going well. I like Addison to go over that longest reception of over 17.5. Mullins actually has a better success rate on passes over 20 yards. He had one last week from him of exactly 20 yards, actually. So that's one I'm going to take a look at as well for tomorrow. And then Isaiah Likely, over 33.5 receiving yards. I don't think that this number has caught quite up to where it should be. It's probably going to be the last week that we see it around here. He's gone over the last 2 weeks, 80 yards and 40 yards. I like the way that they're getting him involved. So that's another one I was looking at. Anything else that you're liking?
I do like Michael Pittman Jr. for the Colts against the Steelers. Over on his receptions. He's had, I want to say, 6 straight games of at least 8 receptions for the Colts. And he's also obviously their number one guy this season. He's getting the targets there as well. So I know the Steelers' pass defense hasn't been the greatest. He's had double-digit targets in 4 straight weeks. And like I mentioned, 6 straight weeks of at least 8 receptions. So if you want to look at his yardage to go over, I don't hate that. But I do like his over 7.5 receptions in this game. And then the same game, I'll throw one more out there. Jalen Warren higher on his receiving yards. I
like that.
Yeah, the Colts, we've talked about that. He's done the Colts defense, I should say, against the running back, in particular to the air. They've been giving it up. 11 of 14 running backs have gone over this projection. So Jalen Warren over 17.5. I do like that as well.
I like it. I actually also like a running backs over receiving, but it's Travis Etienne. That's going to be my dad bet for Sunday. His receiving yards are set at 21.5. I really like that over there. He's gone over in 3 straight, 30-plus yards and all of them. 4 receptions, each of them. So you could still get plus money on the 3.5 receptions if you want to take that. I'm going to play it a little bit safer, which I think is the yards. You look at what this team that they're going up with. They gave Pollard 7 receptions for 37 yards, CMC 3 for 40, Cook 6 for 57. So I think they're susceptible here. And, Travis Etienne has been working it in the receiving game. So I'm definitely liking that one. Any thoughts?
I love it. Travis Etienne is one of those running backs in the league that I'm not saying he's at the level of CMC, but we talk about running backs like in this modern football, like you have to be a pass catching running back as well, because if you're just a downhill runner, you're gonna be either traded or cut. I mean, we've seen it with Dalvin Cook. That happened with him. I know he was kind of involved in the game, in the passing game, but Travis Etienne is one of those guys that I can not only run the football, but like you mentioned, also he can pass catch out of the backfield as well. So he's on my fantasy team. I'm in the quarterfinals, so hopefully he has a big week.
I like it. And now I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'm going to make you. I'm going to make you help me pick my dud. I'm between 2. Actually, let me make sure that one of the numbers hasn't moved, because we don't know how people get very sensitive if you say the wrong number. So I'm going to double check, because it's been it's still sitting there. Okay, so I'm between. I don't love this one because this is an over I usually play. Patrick Mahomes 20.5 rushing yards, or play the CEH under 45.5.
See, like the.
Or do we throw them both out? Do they both suck? Do we get rid of them?
No, I think I like the angle better for for Patrick Mahomes.
Me too.
Rushing yards, just because like how we just talked about, the Patriots defense has been one of the better ones against the running back. So I don't think they're going to have a lot of success. So I don't hate CEH either. I think that, what was the number you said, 45.5 for him?
Yeah.
I don't think he had a good week last week, did he?
He's just not that great. And then this New England's already so good at stopping the run. I don't even need to go back and talk about it, because I know we've been talking about them week after week. But I mean, running backs aren't doing jack shit against them. So, and I think especially like CH, he's in the NFL, but he's not like the most dynamic back that we're talking about here. So I don't know that he makes me nervous against this already very good Patriots defense.
Yeah, he had 11 for 39 last week, and now you're going up against a rush defense in the New England Patriots that, like we mentioned, is the second best I mentioned. I'm just quickly trying to see what other running backs have done against the Patriots here. Let me see.
I believe last week even Warren and Najee went under theirs.
Yeah, they were combined 19 for 40.
Yeah.
Eckler and Kelly 20 for 34. Saquon had 12 for 46. So yeah, I think I like the CEH one better. Take the under on that.
All right, let's do it. Do you have a favorite dog this week?
Let me see here. So
I'm starting to really flirt with switching this to Bears +3 for my dog. I think I'm gonna do it just because of the O-line issues from the Browns right now.
I had the Bears last week, so I don't want to rinse and repeat.
Okay, true,
them.
Fair. And I know everyone wants to take the Giants. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it this week.
Yeah, I feel like the Giants are the public dog just because we see Tommy DeVito is just taking over.
100%.
Man, I honestly I think the Giants. I think it's in the Bears or the Giants for me.
Yeah.
I don't like any other dogs this week. Maybe Tampa.
I know, but
I do expect Jordan Love and the Packers to bounce back, and they're at home. I can't even pick my Texans because we have nobody literally playing.
I thought about it too, to at least cover, but I couldn't get myself there. And I am going to take the Vikings for the Saturday slate because I personally don't feel great about the Steelers, and I think the Lions bounce back this week. So I don't love the dogs this week, to be honest. So it was tough deciding this one. Dumb fuck was very easy for this slate. It's DeVito to throw an interception. It's going to happen this week. I know everyone's very excited about it, but we're not going to be taking that. But do you have any last props before we wrap it up here?
No, I think that's all I had for my props, at least for this week.
Awesome. Great. All right. I'm gonna close out with you on here. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's win some monies.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.